Hello.
Hi, here we are.
I love how when we get onto the YouTube and it picks out our uh thing, it always picks like our first look when we come on to the.
Like my little T-Rex.
Oh yeah, I went through them today and got some really good ones of you like making faces and stuff. I
Good.
gotta I gotta get into making the like the flashy YouTube things.
I would love just like us, all of them to be just like, just
Way
like
over the top.
yeah, you know how those are.
Oh yeah.
Like just I'm sure you can find a screen grab of me going like,
Oh
like
definitely.
from every single one of these.
My favorite one is definitely the one with you under the blanket, like when you were recording
Yeah.
getting the sound and demonstrating that. That was great.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Well, welcome everybody. Back to the MARZ live stream every Thursday at 5. Here we are. Today we're gonna be doing something a little bit different, and it's kind of a whole different setup than what you're used to. I've done some Blender things in the past, but we're going to get back into doing that. And as some of you might know, we've been teaching lately, and one of our lessons that has come up has been how to make Foley, and particularly Foley for 3D animation. So we've got a group of 3D animation students and a group of audio production students, and we're having them collaborate on the project. So we thought that we'd do something similar, smaller scale, and kind of demonstrate like our thought process on that, and just kind of talk about Foley and Blender and animation and whatnot.
Yeah.
So this might end up being a two-parter. I think we're gonna kind
Or
of
more.
spread it out. Yeah, it's a little bit more in depth than I think we've tried to do, since we'll both be essentially what we've kind of planned out was that I'll be demoing some stuff in Blender to start, and as we go, Corey and I will be talking about what would be cool Foley to match with this and how we could kind of create a whole scene. Because as most of you know, in animation, you don't have any sound at all to start with, and you have to make everything from scratch. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. This will be the first time I think that I've actually put sound to any of my animations as well. I don't usually, a lot of the work that I've done has just been kind of renders and stuff. So, um, getting some actual sound for some animation will be kind of a cool little practice. So,
Totally.
yeah, well, should we get started then? And we'll kind of just play it by ear and go through and see what happens.
Absolutely. Yeah. We did not plan much of this out. So we're going to be talking through our thought process here.
Yep.
And I've got an Ableton session open, and Jay's got his Blender session open, and we're just going to, see kind of what happens. Yeah.
Okie dokie. So, I got a setup here. Let me switch over. Okay. So, you can still see both of us, and you can see my... Sorry, I got a new headset. There we go. You see my Blender screen over here, and Corey should be able to see my Blender screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Everything looks like it's coming in from my end.
Yeah, it looks good to me.
Okay. If anything's going wrong, let me know out there in the stream, stream viewers. So yeah, here we are with a basic Blender scene, and we covered this stuff in the past. I'm not gonna get too in depth with what all I'm doing, but we'll mostly be talking about animation stuff, of course. But I'd like to get something done really quick. So Corey, if you want to talk about like this first step that I'm going to do of building an environment and what goes into like building the sound of an environment.
Yeah, I suppose so. So I've been thinking about how to explain this to people because I've been talking to my students about this, and I'm not going to say a number, but there's like a handful of kinds of sounds that you're going to have in any given kind of a scene. But like you can kind of think of them as like layers. In terms of like maybe layers of distance from you, the viewer / listener. So like there's like broadly speaking, sounds can be in the foreground or in the background. But then there's like aside from like the on-screen action and noises, like there's like everything starts with like a bed of like ambience. Very rarely do you hear actual silence. You don't actually ever hear silence in real life. If you go into a quiet enough room, you can hear the sound of your own nervous system working.
Ooh.
Yeah. Apparently people start to hear this whine. You can like hear your blood pumping, and you know, like there's just like no such thing as sound. Silence is sound is pressure waves through air, and there's no such thing as air that's perfectly stationary. So there's just sound everywhere in the world. I guess I should say specifically, sound is pressure waves through a medium. Because you might be making an underwater scene, and we got to, think about how sound moves through water and what water does to sound. So we're thinking about, so the base layer though is like ambience. Like, what does like the space sound like? And then, maybe on top of that layer is like the score, right? Like there's a lot of times like the music bed is like atmospheric and contains elements of like. Sometimes the ambience and the score are kind of more united, but often they're not. You think about how like standard orchestral scores are. There's very rarely an orchestra anywhere in the scene.
An orchestra?
Yeah, it doesn't happen too often. Okay, so we have the ambience, or kind of just the sound of the space. We have the score, and then we have the sound of the on-screen picture. And so that's the categories are Foley, sound effects, and dialogue, or the big three, right? So dialogue's obvious. Sound effects are also kind of obvious. Those are things that are like gunshots and airplanes flying overhead and stuff like that, and explosions, sound effects. Foley is stuff that more is intended to capture and kind of hyper-realize the on-screen action and motion. Foley is more things like footsteps and the rustling of paper and the creak of a doorknob and the sound of somebody's clothes as they cross their arms. That's all. So I think about Foley is the stuff that you don't notice, and sound effects are the stuff that you do, kind of. But so all of those things kind of come together to tell the audio story, right? And so I guess that's 5 elements: ambience, score, Foley, sound effects, dialogue.
Yeah.
Chat us if I'm missing anything. I'm an audio guy, and I'm a music guy, not so much an audio for film guy. So, so when you're doing audio for some kind of video, as we've said here many times, if you're actually recording video, a lot of these things are taken care of all at once. So if you've got a boom mic out in the real world, or a field recorder, or both, this thing's the point of this thing with a stereo microphone is just to capture ambience, right? Boom, done. If you're recording people moving around in a space, you might capture the sound of them moving around. And then boom, there's your, you don't necessarily have to recreate Foley in the studio if you capture the sound in the wild, You might also be recording dialogue there too. And so for traditional film kind of applications, we're generally kind of augmenting the recorded audio from the shoot. Adjusting some things to sound different, making things sound like they should sound from the viewer's position. Because remember, if you've ever seen video of anyone on set or anything, someone's got a boom mic, and they're generally not in the same place as the camera operator. They're as close to the action as possible without being in frame. Whereas the camera is wherever it needs to be to create the shot that the director envisions. Sometimes the end result is that your sound is from a different perspective than your camera, and so you make some slight adjustments to kind of make things feel more real or more hyper real, as we have our certain tropes and expectations of how things ought to sound in a film. So that's of course true for animation as well, except for you don't get anything built in at all. And so
Sorry about that.
You're all good. Look at me blab. That's fun.
Making sure everything's still running.
Totally. So far so good, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah. So anyway, so with with animation, you don't have any of these like recordings to go from, and so you've got to create everything from scratch. And so like, this process can be as involved as you can imagine it would be. Like for example, like, man, you were whipping the scene up really fast. This is awesome.
I got diner, and that was like,
yeah.
I feel like that's maybe the direction that I'm going. So
Totally, and I got diner from the furniture alone. I didn't, I was about to comment if you were going to do something like this restaurant scene that seems to be kind of developing here.
Yeah.
I might like go record some ambience in some restaurants. You know what I mean? As long as you don't have audible conversations, I think that would be permissible. Check with the legality of these things before you do them, of course. But anything that brings it closer to the real world is helpful, right? But it's ultimately up to us and our creativity as sound designers to like figure out what the like larger than life or like hyper real version of this scene actually is. Whoa, cool. That was neat to watch how that worked.
Yeah, a little technique there.
Yeah, to get the little bevel on it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Something simple.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, it's gonna be pretty basic. I'm probably gonna duplicate this. Make it, make a few rows here. So let's see.
So like, if this is gonna be our scene, I don't have any like convenient. Well, I might have some convenient like kind of like crowd recordings. Like if I want to make this sound like a populated cafe.
Mm-hmm.
But like if we're trying to make it sound like an empty cafe, just recording some like room tone of like any room that's kind of a similar size and like composition, like is going to give us a sort of a ambience that works for that space. Of course, like any sounds that we record, if they aren't recorded in a space like that, they're not going to come along with like the, like you can hear my voice reverberating in this room. This room has a certain kind of a sound with its concrete floors and square walls, and like its size and shape, and so it has a certain kind of tone. And so anything I record in here is going to come with that similar kind of tone, which will work for some things, not for others. So we'll use like reverb in a way that is different than how we've used it in music. We'll use reverb like to actually simulate a space rather than kind of just adding fill,
Fill.
Yeah.
Like that was just what I was gonna do. I want bridge edge loops.
There you go.
Oh, that did not work the way I wanted it to.
So anyways, I was thinking like while we're sitting here and I'm blabbing and you're doing stuff, I could like make a little recording of this room tone here, which is going to involve me just kind of hushing up for a sec. This is going to be super interesting to watch on the stream.
Yeah.
So check out this sweet recording action. Here we go. Okay, that's probably pretty good. I'm gonna hit stop. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Did not do what I want.
So, cool. So I've got some sound. I'm gonna pop this guy off of here and stick it in Ableton. I didn't have this thing set up as an audio interface right now. Probably should have just done that, but I think it would actually. Oh no, I can't do that because the way we have audio routed. I'm using the old focus right here to send audio from Ableton. So luckily, this thing works as a card reader. So I am going to pop it open and access it from my hard drive. Also thrilling to observe on the stream, watch me go navigate the tiny LCD interface on this field recorder hidden behind my laptop. I don't know if can they see my screen right now and see how heinous this is?
Yeah, one sec.
Here, I just wanted you all to see just like how awful this experience is from a user perspective. Can Can
Yeah,
you?
they can see it right now.
Okay, so observe, if you will, the folder structure of this field recorder. Guess where my recording is. Stereo folder 1. There it is. You have to go hunting for it. They don't make it easy on you, but boom, there it is. Cool. So if I slide this into Ableton, you should be able to hear this. Hopefully I didn't blink too loud. Oh yeah, check that out.
Yeah, there's something coming through.
Oh, there we go. I was like,
Oh,
why?
yeah.
Why didn't turning it up 20 decibels change the volume? Because it was warped. Okay, so check this out. You can hear my hand hitting the thing. A little handling noise there. These things are notorious for that. So I'll crop that out. Huh. Check this out. There is some sort of regular low frequency something happening. This is picking up.
Weird. And it's definitely on, like, there's a pattern to it. Like, it's, huh.
I wonder what that was. Like, it was maybe it was me bumping the table or something like that. That's really interesting. I don't hear it, but I see it. Curious. It must that's if you don't hear it but you see it, that's a sign that it's just, like this is an extremely low frequency effect, right? Like I bet you.
Is it you breathing?
I doubt it. Well, it's okay. Well, notice it's not totally regular because it of course there's like 3 quick ones right here before the end. Yeah, it's like manifesting is like a deep sub bass effect. It's probably actually what we'd call like just like a bit of DC offset kind of thing. It's just like super low frequency sound. It's like we can filter it out with this. That's what this DC button here is for actually. What's the language here? It says this filters out DC offsets and extremely low frequencies that are far below audible range. I think that thing's not quite low enough, but anyways, I probably don't want that deep sub rumble in my ambience. So even though like it's going to be mixed in a super low volume, I just don't think I really want that. So I'll just like do a reasonable high pass, not too aggressive. Cool. So like this actually works for me. Like that sounds crazy at that volume, right? But this is ambience. It's not going to be jacked up 24 dB. It's going to be played back about this loud. You probably can't hear that. I bet you that drops below the noise floor of our stream. Dang, I haven't looked up at your monitor in a second, man. You are doing, man, it's just crazy. I've been watching Jay work through this stuff with students, and it's just funny. Not funny. It's a interesting comparison, just to see how fast it comes together when you already know what you're doing. You know? I mean, I assume it's probably kind of like watching a student make music and then watching someone with more experience make music. Kind of similar. Just like you get efficient. You learn your like. I mean, I think a lot of what's going on right here that I'm seeing Jay be so efficient about is that he's got his keyboard shortcuts down.
Oh yeah.
Like so, like I don't see a lot of hesitation in his motions here. And he's got his moves planned out like a few moves in advance, so that like he's being efficient and not backtracking too much.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm pretty rusty. Like I haven't been working. Like besides, I've been teaching the classes, but like a lot of the stuff is not. I haven't been just blazing through and trying to do it as quickly as possible.
Totally.
I forget I got to change your. You were Ableton for a little bit there in our little corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking. Diner vibes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, big windows. So maybe, something outside that we could, from the environment, maybe. And I guess we could like probably find some Foley too if we wanted to, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah. Maybe this is a reasonable time to talk about this the world's greatest resource for free sounds. I've used this on the stream, right? I have to have.
I don't know. I don't recall.
All right, everyone. We're gonna go to freesound.org. Logging in. You do have to have an account for this. It is free, as are the sounds. So freesound.org is a royalty-free sound archive, basically, where people can upload sounds that are licensed under the Creative Commons license in various capacities to be used as people see fit. It's just an incredible resource full of all kinds of things, and a bunch of really generous and thoughtful people have spent time uploading the sounds that they've recorded for their own projects. So I point students here all the time when, just as a place where to look for sounds if they want something they can't record or just like can't record. So I want the sounds of like a diner. But I don't really feel like walking down to the kitchen and recording myself clinking a bunch of silverware. And I don't think that would really do it anyways, because a real diner is not just one person clinking a bunch of silverware. So I'm just searching free sound for diner Walla stuff. So I'll search for diner and just see what happens. So okay, first result. Small town, small diner recorded with a Sennheiser shotgun mic.
Oh.
Let's see if...
Okay.
This is exactly what I said that y'all should do.
We just moved here, so we don't know much about this area.
Just go record a bunch of people talking.
Yeah, that's what these folks did. So like, I'm just gonna download this thing. So like a lot, if you're using these for your projects, these things come with Creative Commons licenses, which are explained on the site. Like this one's licensed under a specific license called the attribution license, which means that you can do whatever with it as long as you credit the person for having provided the thing. So, yeah, if you're using these in professional projects, something to be aware of. Yes. So, anyways, going to drop this diner Walla. That is the, I've said that term Walla twice. Walla is a film term for background dialogue. It's a very specific kind of ambience, right? Which is the sound of people talking in the background. This comes from like, I guess like my understanding of the historical, the history of the term, I guess, is that Walla is a phrase that doesn't have any hard consonants. So you can have people saying it. You go Walla, 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 Walla. It looks like I'm talking, but I'm not. But it's not going to like Walla, 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 Walla. It's not going to like interject consonants and interfere with the intelligibility of like actors actually speaking important dialogue. So this is like in the days of like before dialogue replacement stuff, you know, like when everything was happening on set. So the term Walla stuck around. There's also a place in Washington called Walla Walla, Washington. I do not believe the term and the place are related at all. I don't think. So I've got some of this diner sound tucked in with my room tone. Like, you know, like since this is recorded in a diner with diner sound, like I don't necessarily need to worry so much about my own ambience if we decide we want to use this. But like we can also like make a blend of them, you know. So like I'm gonna say like I can't imagine this scene is gonna get rendered a whole lot longer than a minute. You know how long it takes to do a minute of animation, by the way? It takes forever. So 3D animation may be less so, like with like depending on how far in advance you set up rigs and stuff, maybe compared to like stop motion or something like that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Like doing a minute animation takes a lot more than a minute. Let's put it that way. So I'm gonna sort of like target like about a minute of audio for this right now. These things can easily be looped to be longer. So I've sort of like. I'm just kind of curious, like what it would sound like with this diner sound kind of dumped in, just raw right on top of that thing I did.
Yep.
Too loud already. I'm just like, I don't want to hear people or think about people. There's no people in this scene yet. You know, like, and so like I feel like if I'm like noticing voices and I'm not seeing characters in the background, like, or like there's nothing there to make me feel like it's like a believable, like, you know, like, is this scene an empty diner? You know, is there supposed to be just like one person pushing something around in this diner? I don't know yet, because Jay needs to hurry up. No, just kidding. So I don't know yet, and so I don't have enough information really. But so I can like I can guess that like I may want to use this. I'm like collecting my bits and pieces. You know, I can't prepare. So I have this, but I'm gonna guess that I'm gonna use it pretty lightly if I'm gonna use it at all. So I'll probably like just drop that down. You know, like. And just to like make sure like it's not intelligible, I'll muffle it. I'll cut the lows. I'll cut highs too. So it'll be like, you know, like I talk to my students about how we make things feel far away, right? You turn them down. You increase the ratio of reverb to direct sound, and you also turn down the high frequencies. I'm turning down the lows too because I just like want to hear less low frequency, but maybe I'll leave a little more. Just cut the highs.
Cut the highs.
So it's hard to hear, but I'm getting the sense of like there's people talking, but like I'm not supposed to be paying any attention to them. You know, like they're like maybe they're outside the window or something like that. You know, on the street. I don't know. Oh yeah, so there's a whole other thing, right? Like what's outside these windows? Like like being aware of sound. You know, like I'm trying like my whole thing for this whole thing, right, is like I'm trying to imagine that my head is where the camera is. So, whoa, whoa!
The camera just clipped through the wall.
Yeah,
that's where your head is.
Ouch. But you know, so like I see there's a window in the scene, and like if I see anything outside of it, like I might hear it too. You know, like you might not need to hear like people walking by, but if the idea is that it's a quiet scene and you're hearing like people shoving silverware around and like, you know, like maybe the idea is that it's like an awkward scene where no one's talking, you know, and then you might like you're gonna like heighten that by emphasizing the background sounds, which you know like a human being would notice more if nobody was talking, right, and you weren't involved in conversation. But there's also the consideration of like I was just thinking I might start creating a little music, and so like a little consideration. There is like, you know, if the music bed is meant to be audible, it can kind of use that to sort of excuse me from having to create every little detailed background noise too, right? You know, like, and certainly with animation, you have like a lot of leeway. I mean, with the traditional film you do as well, but with animation especially, you have a lot of leeway about like how much realism you're creating. And then, you know, like the animation tends to not, unless it's like hyper realistic animation, like you're not necessarily having a ton of real movement that you need to give a sound to or whatever. Anyways, I wanted to talk about, do you have anything you want to say about this? I'm just talking, Jay. I'm realizing I've had a lot of caffeine at random.
A lot of what I'm doing is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything crazy.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory as you watch.
Yeah. I'm just working on the cushions here. I deleted the other seats because what I'm going to do is actually duplicate this seat and duplicate it as a linked object so that if I make edits to one, they all change. So if you have a bunch of repetitive things, like I could do it with the plates and the cups and stuff, but it wasn't worth it. But with the chair, you know, I'm going to add some of the cushions. So what I can do is now, you know, I added the cushions here. I can select this object, and I believe it is... duplicate linked, so the shortcut is Alt D. So typically you do Control D, or Shift D is normal duplicate, but if you make sure I left it in there. But if you Alt D, duplicate something. So I want to Alt D this and rotate it. So I'm hitting RZ 180 degrees around. Again, I'm going to move it back to match the other one. And then, so now if I go in here and I choose one of these and I go to edit it, you'll see that it comes up and it matches on the other side. So I can do all my, you know, all my edits to one and they all change. So just a really quick way, a really useful shortcut if you've got a lot of the same object in the scene, which happens a lot. So definitely something to shortcut to remember for sure. So I'm gonna make, whoops, see, my muscle memory is to use Shift D. So I just have to remember that. But I'm gonna rotate this 180. Then I want one more over here. Oops, see, I did it again. Did it again. Alt D. There we go. Now, if I've got all these where I want them, I'm just kind of eyeballing this. You could get real procedural with it, but yep. So now all of them will edit at the same time. So yeah, I'm gonna add some materials here. I think I'm gonna do, oops. I'm gonna set this to be, this is the seat. And then there's gonna be a second seat. I'm just gonna call this seat 2.
Hear my like drums sliding around in the background here.
Seat 1's gonna be, I'm thinking like dark brown. Got a lot of dark browns. And then what I'm doing here is I'm assigning different materials to the same object. So I can hit L to select these, L, L, and we'll do the classic kind of red. So I assign that, and I can turn this down. There we go. Maybe those are a little too dark, I think. Lighten those up a bit. Sweet. Cool. I want to kind of add some texture to my floor. So I'm going to come down here and add in a, for the base color, I'm going to do just a checker texture. Simple as that. You can choose your colors. I'm just going to do the good old classic black and white. There we go. I can change the scale.
So
Looks nice.
oh, it looks great. So as Jay's doing this, I'm I'm thinking like diner scene. I want like some cheesy diner music. So like I'm getting on some cheesy diner jazz over here. Like I want to make some like bad canned jazz music with like some like trumpets, like some like cheesy smooth jazz. Like think some like Herb Alpert kind of style.
Okay.
You know. Is where I'm going with this. And then I'm going to filter it through like a sort of a telephone effect to make it sound like it's coming out a crappy diner speaker.
I want to object, set my transforms here. My scale's a little wonky.
What my trumpet sounds like.
Disconnect this. Whoa.
I have the power. Let's see. I haven't used these. There's a new pack here in Ableton that I haven't messed with yet. Oh, whoops. That's the samples. I want. Okay, yeah, cool. This is gonna be so funny.
That's awesome.
I love
Like
it.
I'm
just going for total cheeseball action over here. So.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oops. Whoopsies. Why isn't there a keyboard shortcut for the clip record?
Baseball time.
Yeah.
There we go. Huh? Let me make sure. I'm just gonna double check something real quick. I don't think I ever told you, but the other day when we were streaming, I had forgot to turn it from a private video to a public video for like the first hour.
You did not tell me that. That's so funny.
Oh my gosh. I was like, I caught it like halfway through. And I was like, oh no. Totally spaced. Um, so we got two. This is gonna be a pretty small diner. I think I'm going to trying to think of my layout here. Usually you got a bar on the other side. So let's add in a bar real quick. Oops. I'm trying to avoid scaling or rotating anything in object mode. I can move things around, but I don't really want to scale or rotate because you run into issues later down the road. Um, so it's best to, like, if you're making something new, move it into where you want it, and then go straight into edit mode. I still have a bad habit sometimes of scaling things in object mode, and it's not always the best practice to do things that way, but you can kind of get away with it, but it's still probably not the best idea.
Whoop.
I want this to be usually I guess the bar is usually a little taller, and there's usually like a step up on the bar. I probably have to go look at some references here. Oop, too close to the bar, or too close to the other thing. That's plenty of walking space. I think that's pretty solid. Let's go with that. And then I'm just gonna
Played some really terrible notes coming up here. Not the right chord there. Toot toot.
Toot.
Toot toot. Played the wrong chord. That's not the right note. That's not the right, and none of those are the right note. Toot toot. I say. Let's see that.
Something like bar's very tall. Scale it.
Bitter. There are no F's in that partisan.
So like, hold on. I'm gonna go look up some references, as I should be. So now that we know what it is, it's what do you call it? Diner? Like just the classic diner. So I just go on to Google Photos. Diner. So what I'm let's see if I can find a picture here of what I'm looking for. I mean, like, this is kind of the outside that I was thinking. This has big glass windows. I guess I could change it, but it's fine that way. But I'm thinking like a place like this, like a old school diner. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, so I'm thinking about the bar, and for some reason in my head, I'm seeing like like this. Like there being kind of like a step up, and then you sit on the bar stool. So your feet are at the same level. And here's a good reference. So let's try that. That's pretty good. Use my bevel here. Control B, great tool. Everything should be beveled. It's kind of an unwritten Blender rule. All surfaces should be beveled.
Is that the unwritten rule?
It's a pretty big one.
Right, like just because like everything. Otherwise, it's just like a hard edge.
Yeah, exactly. There's no real like exact hard edges like that in real life, so it's kind of the. Let's shrink this down a little bit.
Man, this pack is pretty useful.
Did you find a new pack, or is this one you had?
This is just like this new one that Ableton put out a little while back.
Oh. I'm gonna use a fancy tool here. See if it works for me.
Like this is a good bass sound.
No, it's not working. Oh, this is based on the 3D cursor.
I mean, it's not, you're not gonna fool anyone into thinking that's a real bass player, but it's like loads better than the other,
Yeah.
Pretty good. So, all right, walking bass line time. I said I was trying to make this sound like Herb Alpert, so like this is like really sounds an awful lot like Spanish Flea now. I totally ripped off part of the chord progression, but here we go. So, okay.
That's what I want. Spin duplicate. Just gonna do the regular duplicate.
All about this first idea, best idea life here.
Heck yeah. Fewer.
I should probably play the first notes though.
There you go.
Somehow miss me.
I love that tool. Oh my gosh, so cool. Did you see that one? So this is the spin tool. It's I think it's a fairly new like addition to the like tools on the side. I don't hardly ever use them, but this one's really useful. So you can assign a spot and then essentially just spin.
Yeah, and like it'll fork off new.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Very useful. So I'm probably gonna just do this corner.
It's just all about just like spatial awareness and like just like planning your moves ahead of time.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna just come back here. I'm not gonna do much behind the bar, I don't think. We don't have to show behind the bar. Yeah, I kind of messed it up, but we can fix that. Going into mode here, and I just actually want to go here.
I'm not gonna be too concerned with making this music good, because I kind of want it to sound bad.
So I'm gonna merge at. This is merge at center. Let's see. Merge at center. Merge at center.
So let's see, where are we at?
Center.
Okay, we've got Trumpet Solo here.
There you go. Beautiful. I like it. I really like that actually. Yes. Oh, that's great. What are you talking about not making it good? That's awesome. Yeah. I love it. Yes. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was pretty rad. I like that.
It's a really bizarre length, I think. So like, I gotta find like something. Where? Actually, it's all right.
That was cool.
Yeah, thanks. First idea, best idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quantize it, but only 50% of the way. So we gotta clean some of that up, because that's just yuck-a-do. I definitely fat fingered a bunch of that.
Oops. Oh. Mean to weird the whole thing.
I'm actually gonna go through and like, I played some like 3-note things. I think I'm gonna try and keep it pretty like 2-notey.
Sweet.
This is fun.
It's gonna be cool. I just gotta get to the animation part. Then we may just be like talking atmosphere this time, and then actually do some animation like Foley to it next time.
Absolutely. So I'm pretty pleased with this like cheese ball jazz thing I concocted here.
Yeah, I like it. I really like it.
Kind of like a Pixar kind of energy.
Yeah.
Okay, composition trick. You want to make something feel cute? You want this tune to feel cute?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. You want this tune to be cute? We use a glockenspiel.
A glockenspiel.
The cutest of instruments.
Oh. What am I doing here? I'm thinking about something and I can't remember what I was gonna do. Oh, the stools. Oh yeah.
Yeah, what do I want to do with this? Like so that.
What is that option? Copy clear. I don't know.
Whoop! Kind of lost it there. Some of that was kind of cool.
So some of you that were watching before might have noticed I used a little trick, and I love this. Kind of similar to the spin thing that I was using before, but essentially anything that you ever have that's completely like circular, like and symmetrical in every way, you can use the spin modifier to essentially just make it 3D. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually just drawing out the profile essentially of the stool that I want to make here. So I'm just like, I don't know, you want to bend in like that a little bit, and then maybe there's the bottom of the thing, and then it comes out to the very edge. And I'm literally just making, so like here's where the cushion comes out, and then bring this back into the center, about where the center would be. And the center is actually based on where your 3D cursor or your origin point is, so I need to move this over a little bit. So I've got it lined up right there, so it'll be about there. So now if I go into my modifiers and just add in the screw modifier, and I have a I think, did I say it was this? Yeah, it's a screw modifier. And there, I have a stool, like just like that.
So cool.
I mean, it's super easy, and like you just visualize it in your head, like, okay, what is this? You know, what's the kind of outline of it look like? And there you go. I did the same thing with the plate, but this was a little bit more complicated. But like, it's just like that, and you got a stool. So now I can move this around and put it where it needs to go. Oops.
Okay, so I got my cheesy jazz going.
Sweet.
So I want to make it feel like it's like in a diner and like kind of distant, right? So like I think about like crummy speakers, they're often like pretty distorted. So we're gonna get out some sort of distortion. Probably choose saturator for this, because it gives me a lot of control. Like I'm gonna go like, let's just see what like hard curve sounds like. So I'm gonna add some gain here. So like like those crappy speaker systems like fart out on the low frequencies. So you can make it fart more by turning up this bass control, which should probably be labeled fart. It's not. Okay, so then once it sounds really crummy, it comes out a really bad sounding speaker that doesn't reproduce the low or high frequencies particularly well.
That's cool.
So here's our like it fades into the background pretty fast. A lot of effort to reduce that down to this.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome.
But like, so then I like kind of blends into the background. So like as a sound designer, I'm thinking about like is this score or is this like full like ambience? Like is this meant to exist in? Is this music exist in the world of the film or not? That's like a really important question to ask yourself, because sometimes it does. And so the thing I had in mind here was like, yes, this music exists in the world of the film. This is what the characters hear in the diner.
Right.
Like this is the sound that's occurring there. It's not a very scored concept here. But of course, I don't have anything to score yet.
Yeah.
So all I'm working from is concepts here. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Thanks. Now I'm hearing this mix. I'm going to turn down the glocks and the trumpet probably a little bit.
I think I'm going to assign. Let's see. I'm going edit mode here. I want to make my tabletop the same color as... Maybe we'll do these. Table. And then add in... It's a little too orange, although I do kind of like the table color, but I'll do this the same as the trim. Make it this. There we go. That's not bad. I'm gonna change this table orange a little bit.
It's an interesting activity, like getting a brown just right.
Yeah.
Like there's like so many infinite shades of brown.
Definitely. And I like, brown is one of those, I really like colors. I was going to look here and see, like a lot of these have lighter colored counters. So maybe thinking like wood color. Oh, these have like those red oh, I forgot about, yeah. It's kind of red.
Red top and like the chrome.
Yeah. See, this is kind of the vibe. I was sort of thinking they got the checkered and stuff, but yeah. I didn't make my seats curved like that. But
oh geez, so like if this is supposed to be a '50s diner, like maybe this should be more like rock and roll music on the stereo,
Oh.
Okay, so all right, we've got all these instruments queued up, and I can like record some other or like create some other loop of music here. So like maybe I'm just gonna do that, like a rockabilly thing.
Oh, there you go. I'm gonna go with the. That's a little too.
So that's like gonna be like a triplet feel. I went for a straight jazz feel.
Of course, normally I'd probably like get really into finding the textures and all that stuff, but I'm not gonna spend too much time trying to find all that. Maybe we want to go for something more like This kind of matches the chairs too much. Then we can always change the chair color. But the red cushions is always like that's the thing. So.
Oops.
Yeah, I like the orange a little better, you know.
So funny activity. Like the score for the non-existent film.
I mean,
But whatever. Like this is like what you do. Like like if I were hired to make this thing, I'd be asking these questions about like where does this take place? What kind of things might I possibly have? And
yeah.
I'd probably like if I was like hustling on this gig and like knew I had a deadline and had any concern at all about it, I'd be like, what assets can I make now? Like what can I do right now to get started on this project? It might just be gather my instruments together, but I might just start composing. Like so I see 50s Diner, I want to get some like, I'm going to do like a blues shuffle thing now, because like 50s Diner, right? Like rock. You know what I mean? Like, or something like that. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to do like, what key should I do it in, Jay?
It's a bad question to ask me.
Okay, you get letters A through G, and you can say sharp or flat as well. And minor. Well, don't say, no, it's going to be major, actually, so you don't get that choice.
Okay. G.
Okay, that's what I was going to pick anyways.
Okay, cool. I'm glad that we're on the same page.
That's happens to be a very easy key to do this on the piano. So, I'm going for convenience here.
There we go.
This is so funny. Here we go.
Yeah, that totally changes the vibe, huh?
Good enough for jazz.
Yeah.
How long was that? Let's just find a 16 bar loop of that. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm playing the blues. I can't find a 16 bar loop of that because it's a 24 bar form.
Oops. Nice chair, all shiny and whatnot. Polished. Maybe we want it to be more brass colored. Yeah. There we go. I'll make one little change here. Not that it's significant, but
I mean, this isn't very rock and roll, I guess. Like, we need some like guitar sounds, I guess. This 50s is the era of the guitar, when the guitar took over. Unfortunately, I'm doing this with MIDI. Guitar is like the worst instrument to MIDI. Like,
oh really?
It's so much about like how you play it.
Ah, I see.
So I'm gonna like try and it's cool. I'm gonna try and find something that gives me like these chords. This chord sound is kind of intriguing. Like if I try and play chords with a MIDI instrument, it's not gonna sound like that because that's just like, oh sweet, I can change the chord. It's tight. Cool. That's pretty useful.
That's cool.
That's pretty useful. So I'm gonna choose this one. This one's called Strat Chords Long. Actually, the other one was better, maybe, for this. This is supposed to be like funk chords, but I think it's working pretty well for what we're trying to do here.
Yeah. Look at my references again here. I got that silver on the wall. Maybe I'll do that for the trim instead. Huh.
I got it doing just the right thing. Did you hear that with the beep, beep, beep? Like if you touch this thing just right, it does it like. It's a combination of playing it, like of getting the exact right velocity to trigger that more like this is a multi-sample thing, so like. There's 3 layers. There's the softest layer is just like a stop.
Uh-huh.
The medium layer is like held. And the hardest layer is short. So like a lot of times people design their like multi-sampled instruments in a way kind of like this, so it like makes it easier for you to do what you need to do. It gives you these varieties of tones, and it makes it possible to play. I'm just going to, because I'm not trying to be a fancy person here, I am just going to duplicate this concept. And put them on the appropriate chords. It's just kind of sad how well that worked. Let's see. Harpsichord, maybe? What instrument should play in here?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Saxophone.
There you go.
So for convenience sake, I'm keeping this tune at the same tempo as the last tune, just like so I don't have to alter anything. So realistic, right? Dang, dude, nice lighting.
Yeah, building it up a little bit.
But I don't really care. Let's get a multiple 12. Let's get a 36 bar loop out of this. I think I played enough for that. Whoop. Maybe let's not get a 36 bar loop. Let's get a 24 bar loop. This is like straight up bad, you guys, but like I don't care. Actually, I can't hear that note again, that last note. I just can't.
Is my audio? Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I was just making sure I'm coming.
I just never. Yeah, that's like the one note I don't want to hear.
Which one is that?
That'd be G sharp in the key of G.
G sharp in the key of G.
What's
happening here?
What is that like? What was that weird show with that like Rotten Robbie on it or whatever? What was that show called?
Which one?
It's like this like European show with this character called has like this. It has this theme song that really sounds like this.
Oh.
Chat us. Someone on the internet knows what this one's like.
Somebody knows.
It's like faster. It's like. But anyways.
That's pretty cool though. Sounds like some like old 2000s video game that they spent $20 on the sound budget.
Yeah, where like the composer knew just enough about jazz to make it sound jazzy, but not quite enough about jazz to make it sound hip.
Exactly.
Hey. So again, turn on our radio effect and.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. Lazy Town, Rotten.
Yes, Lazy Town. Thank you. It sounds like the Lazy Town theme song. Is what this sounds like to me.
Yeah, somebody chatted it.
Thank you.
Izzy chatted
Thank
it
you,
actually.
Izzy. Sounds like the Lazy Town. I think it's the theme song from Lazy Town. It's definitely music from Lazy Town.
What am I trying to do here? I gotta set this object is being weird. So I think, see what I was talking about, like scaling stuff. I think I might have accidentally scaled this. No? It's just my texture is not floor. Scale's fine. Scale on the Y. Fine. Oops. What? There we go. I don't know what the deal with that was. Cool. Okay. So I'm wanting to make this. So I'm thinking that the door is gonna go over here. So let me help this out a little bit here. So got my table and chair. I'm gonna select this whole thing, and I guess I gotta select all of this here. I just don't want the lights in here.
So I have these two tunes here, and they're like played through the same instruments. Half the instruments are shared between them. So like I'm noticing that the mix is kind of wackadoo. Like check, here's the first one.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that sounds pretty good. But then here's the second one.
Huh.
I don't really like that mix as much. So I'm gonna like turn the guitar and the sax down, I think.
First one sounds like Animal Crossing.
This kind of sounds like an Animal Crossing blues too, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
What's the dog's name who sings the songs?
KK.
KK, yeah, KK Slider, right?
Yep. KK Slider.
KK Slider type beat.
Oh my gosh, that'd be fun. His like how he makes vocals. You know how he's like, he's kind of just sings with the.
Yeah, it's his thing like varies the like the sounds, right? It's not just like a single like tone. It's like it's very like vocaloidy, right? It's like kind of like sings. He sings like words or like sounds. Yeah.
I think he sort of. Yeah, I guess it's sort of sounds, but it's also.
But it's not just like He
Right.
goes
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
me, sabu, me, meow, me, meow.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
whatever it's like.
Yeah. Exactly. Just like that. Just like that.
Oh man, I think it's cool. I'm like, how do I like make that? You know, um, okay, like how would you process your like actual voice to like sound that way? Like I would probably think about like recording a melody, cut up, like and like cut between different takes where I was like. I mean, you could just go like sling ba boo ba dee ga woo wow or whatever, but like,
Like The
but
Sims.
yeah, but like it's not gonna have that sort of like chopped sound that like KK's music has or whatever, you know. And so like to get that kind of choppy sound, you probably like you might want to like resample a voice, you know, like that would be a fun thing like to do. You get a really you can do this thing in Ableton if you have Suite. There's an instrument called Sampler, which I never really do the multi-sample thing, but you can build your own multi-sampled instruments with it. So like that one thing I was playing like had a different sound depending on how hard I played it. You can set those up here in Sampler. But so you could also do a thing where it has these like zone controls, which basically lets you assign different sounds to different keys. So like you could have it set up so like each key played a different sample. You can do this in the drum rack too, but it's probably like more convenient here. Or like, you know, you could have like each note, like C note plays one vowel sound and a D note plays a different vowel sound, you know? So like you could play these melodies where like you could do that. Or you could probably also get it set up where you could play the melody and it would randomly cycle between vowel sounds.
I've made a little mistake here. You can see that I've like
Or your origin point?
my origin point's messed up, and I could just, I think, fix these by I thought maybe you have to do it with the set origin to. So this might mess. Yeah. So because I have these all linked, but it's not too bad. I can put them back into place pretty easily. But that's just a thing that to be aware of when you're. Because I originally, I started with a box, so my origin was in the center of that box, and the walls became these walls. So, just something to be aware of where your origin points are. Cool.
I think I'm gonna explore something real
Whoa.
quick.
We are hearing you twice.
Yeah, you were.
That's kind of cool.
I'm just kind of curious. I was like mentioning, I was like, how do I do this thing that I was just talking about? I've never tried. So I'm gonna get a note real quick. I'm gonna try, well, whatever. Let me find a C note real quick.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. So I'm gonna sing a few vowels here. I'm gonna sing a C and a few vowels. Oh, I gotta not have that background music playing. Jeez. A, E, U, O. Okay. So, have a multi-sample. So, I'm going to drop this multi-sample into the sampler. So yeah, so here's like, if I had a second sample, I could like restrict that sample to a certain set of notes. So I'm not sure if I can use those, like, I want the zone selector to change where the sample plays back. I don't know how easy that is to do. But I can't, I'm pretty sure I can do it this way.
Oops.
Just gonna crop all these guys real quick. And then I'm pretty sure I can just put these guys individually in there and we'll see what we can do to mess with them. Admittedly, I have not really done this much before, so we'll just see what happens. I'm gonna get rid of that sample, and here comes all of these ones. Sweet. If I wanted to hear this, I would do that by, oh yeah.
Oh wow. Why did I freeze on here? That's weird.
So what you're hearing right now is the horrifying sound of all 5 of those vowel sounds being played at the same time every time I play a note.
Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you, yeah. Are you frozen somewhere?
Yeah, my capture card froze.
Uh-oh.
Hold on, guys. I'll be back momentarily. Let's see if I can. It did this to me the other day too. I don't know what the deal with that is. Hmm. Now you guys aren't seeing anything. Sorry. Hold on. You can at least see Cory. I don't know why mine stopped working. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it back.
Uh-oh.
Unless I plug it into the ATEM. But then that's not solving anything. Shoot. Was it the camera?
This is like the most terribly scaled thing. Oh! Okay, I found what I was looking for. Cool.
Huh. Weird. Shoot. Hold on, guys. 1 second. Activate that. No? Nothing? I don't know where I went.
So am I still alive?
Yeah, I can
But,
see you.
oh, but you're not.
I can see my screen. I just can't see me.
Oh,
Oh well. Well, we'll continue onward.
that's cool.
Maybe I'll come back.
Yeah, we'll miss you. So here, I've got this thing set up. Like, check this out. So this is so cool. So now, depending on how hard I play, I get a different vowel. Super fun.
Hopefully I'm not gonna crash the whole stream here.
And that was like so easy to set up.
Oh, there I am. That was weird. That's really cool. That's so cool. That's awesome. What are you gonna do with that now?
Well, now, dude, I want to sing the entire alphabet and like have like, oh, dude, I got a fun idea. Here we go. Okay, the alphabet's really long, so I'm just gonna do colors.
Okay.
Red, orange, yellow. Oh, jeez. Turn that music off. Red, orange, yellow. Let's do longer. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. Okay. All right. So then I go in here on my timeline, chop and chop and chop and chop. And then these guys get dragged into a new sampler.
Oops.
Boop. In my zone selector, I can set them to be different velocity values. So like, I'm gonna let them each have like a range of about 15 or so. I'm gonna be mindful of the lowest range here because my lowest velocity value now is 33. So now I'm gonna go into my MIDI effects, get out the velocity effect, and make sure that I never send it a lower value than 33 so that something always comes out.
harmonize with yourself. It's kind of creepy, really.
So I'm gonna do this thing where I'm gonna like compress the velocity. So I'm gonna have it so like this thing passes through a completely, like I'm gonna see if I can get it to like randomize what word it says basically.
Red, yellow, red, green, red, yellow, green,
Yellow, green.
green, red, green, red, yellow, orange, red, violet, blue, green, red, orange, violet, green,
Oh man, that's really cool.
green, green, red.
So like you could also imagine like you could like sing lyrics and then this thing would spit out the lyrics in a random order. You know?
What?
Like I'm just gonna play with this idea. I'm running with this because this is so weird. Let's see. What's like a song lyric? What's your favorite song right now, Jay?
My favorite song right now?
What's if I say like what's on repeat in your?
It's probably some Cage the Elephant song.
Okay, I'm gonna find a Cage the Elephant. I'm just gonna Google Cage the Elephant lyric.
Yeah, you might find probably Ain't No Rest for the Wicked, I would assume.
Skin and Bones
Ooh, that's a good one too.
comes up first. So. Get my note.
Let's see. I'm gonna do.
All right, so I'm just gonna like say. I'm not actually gonna sing this song. I'm just gonna say a bunch of the words at a. Try and stick to the same pitch too. Mute that music, of course. Close my eyes, empty words. Heart was low, makes no sense. Love, light, home. Okay,
Oh.
I have a lot of chopping to do.
Nice.
So I just go through and cut these up, right? Cut, 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 cut. I'm doing a pretty sloppy job here. And then we can pop these out of our sample chain selector and drop these in instead. This is a weird idea. I'm really interested in playing with these ideas about how to do different things with some vocals. Just because they're fun, but it's interesting to like. It's interesting to treat them as instruments. So there's more samples, so they'll each get like a bigger range now, or a smaller range. I mean, I'm being pretty loosey-goosey with this. I'm not sure if I'm screwing things up or not, but it seems to be working. So, how's your scene coming there, Jay?
It's going good. I'm getting more into it than I thought I would, so I know I'm taking longer than we had planned.
It's cool. I'm veering off into a very different territory. I'm having fun with this experiment.
Cool. Maybe we can implement it in some way.
Dude, yeah, we could probably use this to get characters to speak like Simglish or whatever.
Have kind of a gibberish language that they speak.
Yeah, you could probably.
That'd be sweet.
Well, that they sing, you know.
Yeah. Maybe you could do like the song on the radio in the background has it playing like.
Oh my God, this is so cool.
Let's see, I don't want this. I just want that one piece there. What? I don't know what this is. Why it decided to be there?
Oh my God, I'm doing this jazz song is becoming a KK Slater type beat for real now. Okay, check this out.
Oh,
I'm definitely pretty flat though.
that's really cool though.
I think it's like spitting out some bad values. It seems to be really biasing towards the upper end of the spectrum. I'm noticing, so like maybe I'm gonna like trying to like
Wonder Trip.
trying to
Song.
use the trying to use like it's just so
That's cool.
I just can't get it out. This is pretty funny. So some of these samples aren't trimmed very well, so I'm just going to go through and, because I actually want to use these now because I'm having fun with it, I'm just going to go through and just make sure they actually start like at the beginning, like because some of them I feel like have a little silence at the beginning, and so it's like not actually working rhythmically. Like that one.
Oh,
No.
no.
Like makes has like a long M at the beginning. That's kind of a weird.
I should have made a copy of this wall before I started duplicating it. Oh well. Oops. Door there. Got a weird thing going where
I am way too entertained by this. This is.
whoa. There we go. That should do it.
I was like, why does this one keep like not working? There's like a bad one in there. There's like one that doesn't have any sound.
Yeah.
And that was really cramping my style.
Don't want that.
No, so now here, it's messed up my whole mapping thing, but I'm just gonna try and solve this by restricting the values. So like now I have a maximum value of 119. So I just don't want to spit out anything. Dude, full on.
That's awesome. see. I'm gonna have to go to the end. This is usually like higher up, I think. This will be like the window, yeah. So like between the kitchen and the bar. That part. This is making me hungry. Thinking about diners, some diner food.
Dude, I think I did it.
That's awesome.
Is this not a KK Slider type beat?
I mean, that sure sounds like it. Really cool.
And the fun thing about it is that it's actually randomly generating the lyrics continually. It's not actually repeating.
Oh, it's doing it itself? It's like,
Well, like it's
oh, it's randomly. Oh, I see what you mean. That's really cool. How well this is gonna work. We're gonna try the master bevel here. Oh, it's not too bad. It's a little weird. Wait, what? Oh, well, that doesn't help. Good to look at everything, all your models from different angles.
So it's like way cooler when you have those high notes because I get through the vowels faster.
The problem I'm having is that that's going to be kind of weird, so maybe not. This is going to look a little funky. Probably shouldn't do it this way. I should do it the right way.
So cool, like it's just like the little bit of diffusion from the lighting like makes it so interesting looking.
Oh yeah.
So cool.
Oh, how you the kind of the fog to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty neat.
Well, that's just like the chrome texture.
Oh, there's a chrome texture too. Yeah, there's all the trim and stuff
Yeah.
is all kind of chrome, shiny.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I think we're going with this KK Slider thing.
Sweet, that's perfect. Sounds good to me. What I'm gonna do instead here is I'm gonna cut this.
I like including stuff like this, as frequent viewers of our stream know, where there's an element of randomization or chance. I like it when I don't have complete control over my song. I know that sounds kind of weird, but when I'm looking for happy accidents, you know, and also it's kind of fun when things get out of control, you know, and I think that's where you like when you push the boundaries of what your things can do, you run it, that's where you discover cool creative stuff. But of course, there's pushing the boundaries and discovering cool creative stuff, and then there's producing things, you know, and sometimes what is called for is not some sort of genre bending sound experiment, but it's just a KK Slider type beat. And there's nothing wrong with playing some chords loosely inspired by Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, and then playing some Animal Crossing type melodies over the top, you know, you can just do that,
Yeah.
and I don't know, that's not gonna I'm not gonna like freak anyone out or like blow anyone's minds with those sounds, but like it's different.
Yeah,
But it's not too different, right? It's like in terms of this thing, like I'm trying to make this feel somewhat familiar. The sort of cheesy lounge music is like kind of sort of generic muzak, M-U-Z-A-K music.
What's that?
I believe it's actually a brand name, but it was like a term. It's like basically a colloquialism for elevator music, just like canned low effort music.
Oh, okay.
Like meant to be like like stuff you hear in the background at a grocery store, but not like the radio, like there's in the days when you play like pre-canned music. I don't know, weird stuff. Anyways, so I'm like going for hokey, but I'm going for familiar. So and then and then I'm also going for like reference for the gamers out there too. So full disclosure, I have not played Animal Crossing.
Oh no.
But I have listened to my share of the music.
I'm having an issue here. What did I do to this? Did I make a mistake?
I'm out of here if you did. Oh my gosh, it's 6:45, dude.
Yeah, we can really eat away time with. Why can I not put a loop cut on this? Why does it not like me right now? What did I do to deserve this? We'll just get rid of those faces. We'll just select these edges. Fill. Fill. Now let's try to add in a loop. No, it just doesn't.
I'm just gonna listen to this.
So what kind of thing do you want to do with the scene then, as far as like
what should happen in
sound?
it?
Yeah, what would you be interested in making sound effects for? So we've got we know there's a jukebox, so I'll add a jukebox or some kind of radio.
Sure. I mean, so like I feel like having a character like walk into the diner and like sit down at the table and like
Okay.
like something simple like that, right?
Yeah.
Like obviously this needs to fit in the confines of the stream, so like I don't want to make you like do a whole ton of rigging at home or anything like that.
No, it shouldn't be like. I mean, we can show all of the whole process here.
Cool. Yeah, like
Doesn't take too much.
we just need some sort of character to come in and interact with space and some objects, right? Like that's what's gonna give us our reasons to make something make noise.
Yeah.
And so you've got some like you got your like plates and cups and stuff. You could have them like sit down, like something about like what are those countertops made out of? What are those plates and cups made out of? Like like those are probably like vinyl seat cushions, like.
Yeah.
Like I got like, right? So like all these things, like if I'm trying to even create the semblance of like realism, like that it was appropriate for like animation, I can't have my characters like sit down on a vinyl seat and have it sound like they're sitting on like a swing set or like,
Right.
like, or whatever, or like on like a folding chair. Like it's not right, like those stools are gonna have their own sound that's gonna be slightly different, And so, like you don't have to nail these things. You don't have to go out and find that stool or one that looks just like it and is made out of the same stuff. But you just have to be thinking about this. Like keeping like there's a surprising amount of leeway, and we also we're used to hearing Foley for animation and stuff. So like we're not there's not a ton of expectation, but at the same time it's like we're sensitive to these things because our brains are. Their entire purpose is to process all of this information and filter it to give us useful information about our environment. And so, like, we definitely, even if we're not consciously aware of it, we definitely pick up on these cues, and it can lead to this, like, it's like the uncanny valley of audio that you can drift into, right? Where, like, things, like, start just, like, don't feel right. They look right, but they feel off. And that can just be because the sound isn't right or something. Um, what are you doing right there?
Just I extracted this wall to get
Mm.
a clean, like,
Uh-huh.
a clean wall. 'Cause for some reason I hadn't made a clean wall. Um, so now I have a clean wall, and I just wanted to close this up, and now we have a enclosed space. Oh, well, at least on that wall. So I think this is going to be the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
So the front is here.
Mm-hmm.
So you walk in, and then the back wall, I'm probably going to put another doorway for the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I will probably want to design the bathroom, but there'll be a doorway here.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is back to the kitchen. So I'll do a little thing for the kitchen.
I can't help but notice this is almost exactly the layout of Bob's Burgers restaurant.
Oh, really?
Very close to the
yeah,
layout of
isn't
the
it?
restaurant. It's just the doors on the other side.
Doors on this side.
Yeah, and it's missing one of the booths. It's to accommodate the
Ah.
door. Because like right in that empty space there is like that's like their menu.
Oh yeah,
sign.
and they've got the two windows too, don't they? Now that I'm
but it's just
visualizing it.
flipped. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Huh.
I mean, whatever. Like diners are diners, right? Like,
Yeah,
you know, like
that's-
these layouts exist for a reason because
Yeah.
they're serving human beings, and you know, like there's like this like ergonomics and flow to a workspace, and so like it's fine, you know. Like of course it's gonna look like that diner because that diner they probably looked at similar references to you when they built it, you know.
Yeah.
Like, because diners are diners. Like,
So let's see. And maybe I'll do. I don't want to do any walls on this because the bathroom, or I don't want to do any windows on this wall. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here, and I want to keep though the. Well, actually, let me put in. Before I do that, let me grab in a door. So now that I have a door thing made, so I can just like, you see my origin points over here weird. I should probably fix that. I'm just kind of put it back. But you see I've kind of like made a bunch of pieces, essentially. A bunch of puzzle pieces to just kind of put around and create my scene. So I can kind of go in the top-down view here and I'll align it where I want to be. Maybe down the hallway so you can walk straight into the bathroom.
that's yeah, it's
Makes sense.
definitely makes
And then
sense.
although the door would have to open in because you probably don't want to open out to the whoever's coming around
Right.
with food.
Although I can't tell you how many places I've been that you have to like walk behind the counter and like go
Oh,
through
yeah.
the kitchen to go to the bathroom. You know what I mean? Like there's
oh, yeah.
there are plenty of restaurants that are for some reason laid out that way.
Definitely. That is weird. But I'll grab this. Whoops. I want to grab it. I don't know why. So there's like some of the sound effects that we know we're going to need. Like any kind of...
Like appropriate doors opening and closing, right?
Yeah.
So at this point, you know, you might I'm mentally or might like write down a list of what I'm seeing and imagining what I might be hearing. You know, like obviously if we had a character moving through the scene, we just know what they were doing. But I can sort of like predict, like, you know, like I know we're gonna have a character walk in and probably go through a door, and so like I gotta be thinking about where am I gonna get a sound of a door, and like an appropriate door, you know. It might be fun to like try and capture the sounds of some like do some wrong sound effects for some of these things.
Where's my door? I can't tell where it is. This is what I want.
Jay, just so you know, I have to switch gears in about 5-10 minutes here.
Okay. Wait, what is this? Oh, that's... oh, that's fine. Oops. Yeah, we'll wrap it up here pretty soon. But we'll probably definitely continue this. What did I do? I messed this up. Yeah, right. Just, there we go. I wonder if I want to keep... Since I did it here, I probably want to keep...
It's just like, this is so fun. I'm like totally gonna start doing this a bunch. Like like with like an actual nice like vocal or something like that.
So I've made these objects here, the trim, not only for, makes it look good, but also just to hide where these overlap. So it's some strategic use of these.
Is that like just open up potential for like weirdness in the render, like when you have those like just
Overlap it. Yeah, you'd want to try to avoid overlapping
oh yeah, cause stuff like that.
stuff. Yeah. But I can get it close enough, and then sort of grab my trim here. Bring that back a little bit. There we go. There. And then maybe I want to just duplicate this piece, make it fit into here, and I can just rotate this actually. Well, I can probably better to go into edit mode, because that's not gonna, I don't think that's gonna have any trim on it there, so I'll just go in here, grab this, there we go. I think that's it. Well, now that I finished the walls, should we wrap it up? So we're on to something. Next week we'll continue on our way through. Yeah, it seems like this will probably be a multi-parter, which would be pretty cool. We'll end up with something pretty neat at the end, I think.
Totally.
You see, it's already.
Man, that's so cool. Here. Yeah, it's like it's pretty there.
So if we were to render this, it would. What's the shortcut? I forget always. We can go into our camera view. Whoops. We can do a quick little test render here. There it is. Pretty cool. We'll gotta fix some things with the lighting and stuff, but it's getting there. Once we've got a roof on it, it'll look a little better because it will block the sun from coming in the top and make it a little bit more sense.
Yeah, totally.
Because it's still like a physical space, so you have to take into account where your sun is coming from. We have no roof on it, so what you can do is just like make the roof and then hide it while you're animating. This could almost look like if we did a if we went into our camera here. This is looking like a little like
Yeah, the ortho view, yeah.
yeah, like a little little side what do they call those little RPG sort of thing going on.
Yeah, what is that? Like it's not. Do they call them do they use the word orthographic there?
Yeah, I guess orthographic.
That's not. I feel like I feel like there's another word for like those games though.
Yeah, it's kind of the like old RPG style.
Yeah.
Like kind of
Earthbound.
RTS sort of look too. Like you kind of have that like locked 45-degree.
Yeah.
So that's a really fun thing to do, is to actually just to go into your render tab and say like I'm gonna do this 10%, and then you turn off if you turn off, what is the one you gotta turn off? There's a thing in here. Where is it at? Something in the camera maybe? Or what? But if you like do a really low res, you can kind of get a cool.
Oh yeah.
Like, you can turn off the aliasing. That's what it is.
Yeah, totally.
It's in here somewhere. I can't remember, but we can check that out. That might be.
And then it'll give you
cool.
like more of like an 8-bit kind of look.
Yeah, Yeah, and I mean that looks like it could be rendered out of out of an old game.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, if you without the aliasing, it could be like pixel art.
Yeah, exactly. This is a great way to make pixel art, and I love making pixel art this way. This was actually the way that we made my final project in one of my game dev classes
Oh,
was
cool.
making 3D models like this, and then just rendering out from Blender, and like
Neat.
super easy to do. So yeah. Anyways, we'll go into that some more as we go. I gotta remember where that button is. Somewhere in here.
Aliasing.
Do you see it?
No, I don't. I'm looking though.
It's one of those ones that's like,
Oh, dude. This was like me trying to find the export button in traction waveform. Like, it was terrible. It was in the weirdest place.
yeah, it's always like, it's one of those that I don't really.
I just saw the rat!
Wait, what?
I see. There's a mouse in here right now.
Oh no.
Yeah. I
You
just-
saw another one?
I just saw it, yeah.
Where'd he go?
I'm not sure. Hey, little buddy.
Evidence is
I
on
seen you.
stream
Well, cool. I know where I'm going to set the trap tonight.
in here.
Cool.
Anti-aliasing. Yeah, I can't remember where it is. I'll have to look it up. Somewhere in here. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's totally just like I think it may have came out of the closet.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, which makes sense because there's that big hole in the wall there.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Well,
On that note,
on that note, we will.
we have some pest control to
Oh,
do.
here we go. Here's the denoise. See if that's it. No, that wasn't it. Oh, well, it still looks kind of cool. It's still a little blurry. It's somewhere in here. It's on depth. Oh, that's depth of field. I'll find it at some point. Oh, there it is. There. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back next week for some more exciting Blender Foley adventures. Work some more on our scene and maybe get to this animation stuff next time.
Totally.
I feel like this is fun. I like the
Yeah, the tandem.
collaborative kind of like, yeah, thinking about the scene and setting it up and
Totally.
cool. All right, well, take it easy. We're gonna go set a trap and go home. Well,
Yep.
I guess you're hanging out for.
I'm hanging out with the mice.
Yeah.
Me and the mice for a little bit.
All right, guys. Take it easy. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye bye.